If you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning. While Colorado does not get a lot of lightning compared to other states, ranking only 32nd most last year, our state ranks 4th in the amount of lightning deaths. On average, 3 people are killed every year in Colorado by lightning, and this year there's already been 1 death. A woman was killed in Durango in early June while out for a walk in her neighborhood. The most important thing to remember about lightning safety is that there is nowhere outdoors that is safe. It is because of our love of the outdoors that Colorado ranks so high in lightning deaths. If thunderstorms are in the forecast, have a plan to get indoors quickly and easily. Lightning will usually hit the tallest object in the strike area. You don't want to be the tallest object, so avoid open spaces. If hiking above tree line, plan to get up and down before noon. The majority of Colorado's lightning happens between noon and 6 p.m. You are only statistically safer in the trees because there are multiple high targets. But the data shows that most fatalities happen when lightning hits a tree or a power line and travels on the ground to the victim. Direct hits to people are rare and not survivable. Lightning victims are usually residual targets from nearby strikes. A vehicle is a safe place because you're completely sealed in a metal cage that shields you from the electricity. Your home is also a safe place, but avoid areas with plumbing because the pipes can conduct the electricity if lightning hits your house. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, 9 News.